to another episode of Rob's World of Boxing. Let's get it. Alright, I want to get to this fight video, talk about the fight card that happened over the weekend, get into some fight cards that's going to happen this upcoming weekend, and touch on a few other topics if we have time. Without further ado, let's get into it. Alright. Fight card happened Saturday, April 22nd at the T-Mobile Arena in Las Vegas, Nevada. It was a pay-per-view contest. It was PBC, GTD, all those guys, man. It was Tank versus Ryan. Came on at 8 p.m. Eastern Time. 8 p.m. Eastern Time. Let's get into it. First fight I want to talk about on the card, it was a 10-round contest at middleweight. Middleweight is 160 pounds. Did no. It was Elijah Garcia versus Kevin Zambrano. Elijah Garcia was 14-0, 12 KOs. He is 19 years of age. He's a southpaw. Kevin Zambrano is 15-0. Well, he was 15-0, 1 draw, 10 KOs, and he is 25 years of age. Elijah Garcia is from Arizona. Kevin Zambrano's from Mexico. All right. It was a back-and-forth contest with Elijah Garcia inching it out barely, man. Zambrano got deducted a point in the 7th round for low blow, for low blowing. After the ref had, continuously warned him, and he kept doing it. So he got deducted a point in the 7th round. All right. 2 judges had to fight, 92-97 for Elijah Garcia, and the final judge had to fight 94-95. All for your winner, Elijah Garcia, getting that unanimous decision win over Kevin Zambrano and keeping his winning ways going, man. Good job, Elijah Garcia. Now I know I recognize it. Well, of course, it was from his last fight, but when he was fighting Emil Vidal. And Vidal, he wasn't a top competitor at the weight, right then and there. But he was on his way, man. He was a highly skilled, fucking competitor. And freaking he was on his way to being, one of those names. And he got knocked off by Elijah Garcia, man. So that was a big win for Elijah Garcia. And this was a big win because it was his last fight, keeping the winning going, man. So good job, Elijah Garcia. All right, next fight I want to talk about on the card. It was a 10-round contest at junior middleweight. Junior middleweight is 154 pounds, if you didn't know. It was Fedor Shashurskin versus Eliza Espadadas. Fedor Shashurskin was 21-0, 13 KOs, and Eliza Espadas was 22-5 with 15 KOs. All right, Shashurskin actually scored a 9th round TKO win versus Espadas, keeping his O, and putting that 6th loss on Eliza Espadas, man. I ain't gonna lie, I was watching the fight. The fight was kind of, boring, for lack of better words, man. So I kind of walked away. But I did see him TKO him. He was just overwhelming Espadas. And, the ref has seen enough. Stop the fight. I really like Shashurskin. Not really like him. He's okay. I need to see more, man. I need to see more. But, yeah, he's okay. All right, let's get to the next fight on the card. It was a 10-round contest at 168 pounds. 168 pounds is super middleweight, if you didn't know. It was Bakhtimir Melikuziev versus Gabe Rosado. Bakhtimir Melikuziev was 11-1, 9 KOs. His only loss came via KO from Gabe Rosado. All right, and Gabe Rosado was 26-16, 1 and 15 KOs. So he had lost 16 times, Gabe Rosado. All right, Bakhtimir was beating the hell out of Gabe Rosado all night. He was one step ahead of Gabe Rosado all night. And yeah, he most definitely redeemed himself versus Gabe Rosado, man. Made up, for losing that fight against him, man. He ended up having it. Well, all three judges end up having it the same, 99-91, giving it to back to Mir by unanimous decision. Yeah, and giving him that win. Good job, Melly Kuziov. It's some dogs, at 154 pounds, 160 pounds. I feel like I need to see a little bit more from Melly Kuziov, the same with Shishirskin. I'm not sold yet, but I like the direction those guys are going. And, I need to see a little more, man. Good job, both guys. All right, let's get to the co-main. Well, I ain't going to call it the co-main since the main was so goddamn big. But let's get into the fight leading up to the main. It was a 12-round contest. It's super middleweight. It's 168 pounds. If you didn't know, it was David Morrell Jr. versus Yamaguchi Falco. David Morrell Jr. was 8-0, 7 KOs. He is 25 years of age. And Yamaguchi Falco was 24-1, 1 draw, 10 KOs. He's 35 years of age. He's from Brazil, and he's a Brazilian Olympian. He got the bronze medal in the Olympics. David Morrell is trained by Ronnie Schultz, and he's from Cuba, but he's fighting out of Minnesota. All right, let's get to the contest. Morrell came out hitting hard, as he usually do in all his fights, so yeah, this fight was no exception, and him hitting so hard had Falco looking sleepy early. Falco actually got dropped in the first round. Well, kinda, because he got hit so hard, then he looked for the ref. He looked like, help me. Man, help. And the ref was like, hey, I ain't help you. You can get dropped. And he was like, man. But fucking Burrell ended up, found him again, man. Hit him up like Biggie hit Pac up, man. And ref was like, all right, that's it. I'm going to give you a standing 8 count. Gave him a standing 8 count. Let the fight continue, which I don't know why he did, because, you could tell Yamaguchi was overmatched, man, from the first punch. You could tell that he had nothing for Morrell, man, and I feel like the ref should have stopped it immediately. He should have stopped as soon as Falco looked to him for help. He was looking at him like a kid looked for his parent, man, like, Dad, Mom. He should have stepped in and helped him and stopped the fight, but he didn't. Like I said, he let the fight continue, and Morrell smashed him, man. He smashed him with a left-hand hook, and it was all she wrote, man. That boy was face first, sleep in front of all those people, not moving. It was a scary, scary sight, man. Yeah, like I said, and the ref could have saved him, from himself. He could have saved him from that sight, man. Could have saved his family from seeing that, but he didn't. He didn't intervene. Morrell did what he had to do. This is boxing. Like I said, you can't play boxing. But yeah, man, it was a highlight reel KO. Yeah, that was it, man. First round KO win for David Morrell Jr. Continuing his winning ways, continuing his vicious attack on the super middleweight division, man. And yeah, man, after the fight, he was saying that he wants the top, 168 pounders, starting with David Benavidez, which I feel was not a good idea. And yeah, I was actually talking about it with a friend of mine. He was saying, like, all these guys, they get overzealous, and they want to, jump ahead of the curve. Like, you have 8 fights, buddy. Just calm down. And I was thinking the same thing. Like, that's a good point, Tom, man. But for real, it's a great point. Like, David Morrell, you only have 8 fights. What's the rush to get in the ring with, David Benavidez? And what's the rush to get in the ring with any, top 168 pounder right now, man? Because once you take that step, you can't turn around. You can't take, now I want to start fighting, the guys who are not on this level again because this level's too hard. No, once you take that step, there's no turning back. So you need to just use this time, get better at everything. Maybe fight some lefties, maybe fight a tall fighter, maybe fight a slow fighter. Just fight different kind of fighters and get different feels for different things in the ring. Because like I said, once you go, there's no turning back. But nonetheless, good job, David Morrell Jr. getting that win. All right, let's move on. Next fight I want to talk about. It was the main event. It was a 12-round contest at lightweight. Lightweight is 135 pounds. This fight was at 136 pounds, a catch weight. All right, it was Gervonta Tank Davis versus Ryan Garcia. Ryan King Rye Garcia. All right, Gervonta Tank Davis was 28-0, 26 KOs. He is 28 years of age. And Ryan Garcia was 23-0, 19 KOs, and he is 24 years of age. Gervonta is from Baltimore. Ryan is from Victorville, California. Fighting out of LA, though. Let's get into it. First, let me get into this water. Hold on. All right. Ryan Garcia, well, before I even get into that, the whole place was electric. The whole place was, I'm imagining it was sold out. It looked sold out. It was packed. Freaking Ryan came out, man, in a nice Amiri robe. I'm not gonna lie. I liked it. It was nice. Yeah, he had some kind of like ballad playing in the back. I don't know what the hell that was, but I loved his Amiri robe. All right. Gervonta, on the other hand, he came out with Chief Keef, man. And he came out and it was electric. I ain't gonna lie. He came out to that Love Sosa, the old Chief Keef. That was old, not the new Chief Keef. I ain't gonna lie, the new Chief Keef cool too. Well, people just be sleep on him. But the old Chief, he was going crazy. I was like, oh man, I don't think Ryan gonna be able to beat this, because I was feeling myself. But all right, let's get into the fight. Somebody had to go. All right. First thing that jumped off the screen at me when the fight started was Ryan's size difference. He was noticeably bigger than Gervonta. He was huge in there. It looked like a giant. It looked like David versus Goliath in there. That's how big Ryan was, comparison to Gervonta, in my opinion. And I'm pretty sure the opinion of others. All right. Gervonta actually scored a second-round knockdown versus Ryan Garcia when Ryan was getting too aggressive in there. It seems like first round was a fill-out round. Both fighters filling each other out. Then round two, I feel like Ryan felt like he hurt Tank, which I don't think he did. After the fight, Tank said he didn't get hurt at all, so he didn't hurt him. But Ryan thought he hurt him, and he started getting overzealous. And after the fight, Ryan said it was his fault. He just got bored in there. And I don't know how you can get bored in a championship fight, man. You know what you came here to do. But he said he got bored. He didn't just want to sit out there and jab and, and step back and jab and step back, keeping out of range. I remind you, that's why you're stepping back. So he said he decided in his mind he wanted to take the fight to Gervonta, and that was a big mistake, man. He got overzealous, he got too aggressive, and he got caught. Gervonta hit him with a left hand, like I said, and dropped him. Round three, I actually thought Ryan wasn't going to get up from that knockdown. I thought he was over, the way his body just dropped, and I thought he was, not going to get back up. But he actually jumped back up immediately, which surprised me. And round three, he kind of redeemed himself that round. I mean, he didn't win a round, but he redeemed himself. He didn't get knocked out that round. He didn't get wobbled that round. He didn't get hurt more in that round. So I feel like round three was a good bounce back round for Ryan Garcia, man. All right. A little sidebar: Mayweather and his family was at the fight supporting Gervonta Tank Davis. They, cut to him during the fight. He was actually front row, and it was a surprise to me because, as all of you guys know, Gervonta Davis is no longer with Mayweather's Promotions. So, yeah, I didn't think he would be at the fight, but as Leonard Ellerby was saying, it's not about the money, man. It's their family, man. It's it's deeper than boxing, and Floyd showed that by coming to the fight with him and his family, and cheering on Gervonta. All right, back to the fight. Ryan kept spinning around. I was like, what the hell's going on? Like, I've never seen that in the fight. Like, every time Gervonta would get in there, get close, and, Ryan, I feel like a punch is coming. He'll turn his back to Gervonta, and I'm like, what the hell? How long is the refs going to allow this? You could tell Gervonta was getting frustrated. He did like a little pirouette in there, and he was like, you can't do that. Basically telling Ryan, like, you can't do this. This is illegal. Why are you doing this? But he kept doing it, and the ref wasn't saying anything about it, man. But that was a big no. Anybody who know boxing know it's a big no-no. You never turn your back in the ring on your opponent. And, I feel like that just showed his immaturity, and that just showed his, lack of skill in there. You got to have some kind of better defense mechanism than turning your back in the ring. All right, yeah. In the 5th round, oh yeah, that's why he was just turning his back. He kept turning his back. But yeah, in the second half of the fight, I felt like Garcia, this was your time to shine. But yeah, it didn't even make it that far. I had said in my pre-fight video, like Tank was gonna stop Ryan in the 7th round. Yeah, and that's what ended up happening. Freaking I thought Ryan, Garcia was gonna if he was gonna win a fight, he was gonna box, all night, and especially in the second half of the fight, he was gonna, start using the jab and boxing and keeping keeping Tank on the, end of his jab and, on the outside. But that wasn't the case, man. Like I said, it was a 7th round KO win for Gervonta Tank Davis. Fucking Ryan Garcia actually got caught with a body shot. So that's what put him down, a body shot, man. I'm thinking maybe it was all that, cutting the weight, because the way he got, put down to the body. He was throwing a punch when he, got hit in the, in the stomach. But I feel like, man, it wasn't even that hard. Gervonta wasn't even putting his all into the punch. And for you to go down like that and take a knee like that after, said that everybody was going to have to take a knee for Gervonta and you was going to have to pray for him because you was going to knock him out like that, you ended up being the guy taking the knee. Yeah, I feel like it was from the weight, he was weight drained, in my opinion, man. But that's no excuse, man. That's no excuse. It was a 7th round KO win for Gervonta Tank Davis. After the fight, him and Mayweather embraced, man. You could tell he was telling him, I love you, man. I appreciate you. Thank you for everything you've done for me, man, etc. Good job, Gervonta Tank Davis, getting that win, man. I feel like Ryan Garcia, bit off a lot more than he could chew, man. And he had a mouthful, pause, with Gervonta Tank Davis. And he regurgitated all over himself in front of all those people, man. I feel like Gervonta Davis, he goes to the top after this fight. They said after the fight he's the face of boxing because he beat Ryan Garcia. But I don't feel like beating Ryan Garcia made him the face of boxing. He was already the face of boxing. One of the faces of boxing. Yeah, man, ain't nothing changed. It is what it is. Him and Canelo, Tyson Fury are the faces of boxing, if you ask me. Yeah, and it's still the Same shit, man. You could throw an Errol Spence in there, but I feel like Errol needs to do a little bit more marketing-wise, you know. But sky's the limit for Gervonta Tank Davis. I feel like Ryan Garcia, he said he's moving up to 140. I feel like that's a great idea. Like I said, he was weight drained in this fight. And, yeah, at 140, I feel like he'll be stronger. I feel like he'll be faster. And I feel like, you know, he won't go down from a body shot, you know, like that. And he'll have a little bit more chin on him as well, because he looked sucked up in this fight. He didn't look healthy. So yeah, and also I feel like this is gonna be a good experience. You know, this is good experience for Ryan Garcia. You know, he didn't win, but now he's on that big level. He can say he's been on that big level. He knows how it feels. He knows how to, you know, keep his emotions bottled up. He knows how to, you know, deal with it now, you know, because he's done it. You can say like, oh, I know what I know this, I know that. But if you haven't done it, you don't know. So now he's done it. So now he knows. So it's a good experience for Ryan Garcia. So I feel like he should be better moving forward because of it. Good job, both fighters. Good job, all the fighters on the card. Like I said, you can't play boxing. But actually, before I even move on, I want to talk about some fights that I didn't see on the card, but they did happen. You know, they were on the card, but I didn't get to see them. They were early on. All right. First fight I want to talk about, it was a 10-round contest at 154 pounds, junior middleweight. If you didn't know, it was Vito Metalinki Jr. versus Jose Charles. Vito Metalinki Jr. was 14-1, 10 KOs. He is 20 years of age. Jose Charles was 20-4, 1 draw, 12 KOs. Vito Metalinki Jr. actually scored a 4th-round KO win over Jose Charles, continuing his winning ways. The next fight I want to talk about that I didn't see was a 4-round contest at welterweight. Welterweight is 147 pounds. If you didn't know, it was Jaleel Hackett versus Jason Phillips. Jaleel Hackett was 5-0, 4 KOs. He is 19 years of age. He's from Washington, D.C. Jason Phillips was 3-3 with 2 draws, no KOs, 22 years of age, and he was from Iowa. Jaleel Hackett scored a 3rd-round TKO win over Jason Phillips, you know, which was expected, but I still haven't seen Jaleel Hackett fight, which is a bummer, man. I really want to see him in the ring. I've heard a lot about him, and I've seen highlights, but I haven't seen the whole fight of his. I'm looking forward to seeing him in the future. All right, next fight I want to talk about on the card that I didn't see was a 6-round contest in middleweight. Middleweight is 160 pounds. If you didn't know, it was Lorenzo Simpson versus Pacino Hill. Lorenzo Simpson was 13-0, 7 KOs, 23 years of age. Pacino Hill was 8-1, 1 draw, 6 KOs. He is 26 years of age. Lorenzo Simpson from Baltimore. Pacino Hill's from Iowa. All right, one judge had it 55-59 for Lorenzo Simpson, and the final 2 judges had it 54-60, all for your winner by unanimous decision. Lorenzo Simpson continuing his winning ways and putting on for Baltimore, you know, and not disappointing Tank for letting them down. All right, next fight I want to talk about on the card that I did not see was a 10-round contest, 135 pounds. 135 pounds is lightweight. If you did know, it was Floyd Schofield versus Jesus Leon. Floyd Schofield was 14-0, 11 KOs. He is 20 years of age, and he's from Jersey City, New Jersey. Jesus Leon was 23-1, 2 draws, 19 KOs. He is 23 years of age. He's from Mexico. All right. Floyd Schofield scored a 2nd-round TKO win over Jesus Leon, continuing his winning ways, making him 15-0 with 12 KOs. Good job, Floyd Schofield. I feel like Floyd Schofield is ready for the top 135 pounders right now. So I'm looking forward to seeing Floyd Schofield move his level of competition up in his next fight. All right. That was it for the fights that happened on what happened on that Showtime pay-per-view card. Man, it was a good pay-per-view card. Well, it was an okay pay-per-view card. Man, it was a beautiful main event, a very good main event, man. So the the undercard couldn't be the best because you got to pay those main event guys, so you got to spread the money you got to spread it around. So you got to throw some guys on undercard you ain't got to pay a lot to. But nonetheless, like I said, it was a smooth card. Good job, Showtime. All right, let's get into the next card I want to talk about. I know in the beginning of the video I said it was a one card. Did I say that? It was a one card weekend, but shit, I lied. Forgot about this card. It was a pretty lackluster card, so we're going to talk about the main event. All right, happened Saturday, April 22nd on DAZN. DAZN is Matchroom, Eddie Hearn, all those guys. That transpired in the UK. Main event, that's all I'm going to talk about. It was a 12-round contest at 130 pounds. 130 pounds, a junior lightweight, if you didn't know. It was for the IBF 130-pound belt. All right, it was Joe Cordina versus Shashaskin Rakamov. All right, Joe Cordina was 15-0, 9 KOs, 31 years of age, and he's from the UK. And Rakamov was 17-0, 1 draw, 14 KOs, 28 years of age, from Tajikistan. All right, Rakamov actually went down in the second round from a left hand to the head. And Rakamov was actually cut over the right eye in the 6th round, man. But other than that, it was a pretty close contest, back and forth contest, with the judges having it a split decision. One judge had it 113 to 114 for Rakamov. The other judge had it 112. Well, the other two judges had it. Well, one judge had it 112 to 115 for Joe Cordina, and the final judge had it 116 to 111 for Joe Cordina, giving him the split decision win over Shashaskin Rakamov. Good job, Joe Cordina. Oh, yeah. And making him the new IBF 130-pound champion, Joe Cordina. Good job, Joe, man. Getting that win and becoming champ for the first time in your career. Good job putting on for the UK. All right, that was it for the fights that happened last weekend, man. It was a beautiful weekend of boxing with that Ryan Garcia and Tank fight. But other than that, it was a pretty okay weekend, with the undercards and the other card, So, yeah. Let's get to this upcoming weekend of boxing, man. This upcoming weekend is a very, very slow weekend of boxing, man. Got one card. The card is a DAZN card. It's pretty lackluster, But let's get into it. All right, it's going to happen Saturday, April 29th in Arlington, Texas. Like I said, it's the DAZN card. DAZN is Matchroom, Eddie Hearn, all those guys. I didn't get the time. If you want to know, do your research, check it out. Throw it in the comments so I know too. All right, the main event is a 12-round contest at lightweight. Lightweight is 135 pounds. Did know it's William Zepeda versus Jaime Arboleda. William Zepeda is 27-0, 23 KOs, 26 years of age. He's a southpaw. He stands at 5'9" with a 69.5-inch reach. He's from Mexico. He beat Jojo Diaz, who was 32-2 with 1 draw. His last fight, October of 2022, by unanimous decision. So he hasn't been in the ring since. What's that? 7-month layoff. Pretty quick turnaround. So let's see if he can get a win over his opponent, Jaime Arboleda. Jaime Arboleda is 19-2, 14 KOs, 28 years of age. He's Orthodox style fighter, so that should make things interesting. Orthodox versus southpaw. He stands at 5'9.5" with a 72-inch reach. He's from Panama. And his most recent loss came versus Chris Colbert when Chris Colbert was 14-0. And that fight transpired December of 2020. Chris Colbert beat him via 11th round TKO. And he doesn't, TKO a lot of people. So that tells me something about Arboleda's chin. It's probably not the strongest. And quick prediction, thoughts on the fight. William Zepeda has 23 KOs. And you let, freaking freaking Chris Colbert, who has probably, when you fought him, he got like 8 or 9 KOs now. So when you fought him, he probably had like six or 7. So you let a guy who with 6 or 7 KOs knock you out. You don't think a guy with 23 KOs gonna knock you out? Oh, you going to sleep. So I say a 5th round KO win for William Zepeda, keeping his winning ways alive. All right, next fight I want to talk about on the card. It's a 10-round contest at featherweight. Featherweight is 126 pounds. If you did know, it's Diego De La Hoya versus Victor Morales. Diego De La Hoya is 24-1. 11 KOs, 28 years of age, orthodox style fighter. He stands at 5'6" with a 68-inch reach from Mexico. His loss came versus Ronnie Rios when Rios was 30-3, and that fight transpired July of 2019. Ronnie Rios beat him via 6-round KO. And I'm assuming Diego De La Hoya has some relation to Oscar De La Hoya. You don't hear De La Hoya all the time, but I'm not sure because this is a DAZN, card, man, and why wouldn't Oscar be promoting his cousin? I'm pretty sure it's a DAZN card. So I'm not sure if there's any relation. All right, his opponent, Victor Morales. Victor Morales is 17-0, 1 draw, 8 KOs, 25 years of age. He's orthodox style fighter. He stands at 5'7". He's from Vancouver, Washington. I never heard of Vancouver, Washington. And I've never heard of this guy, man. But he looks nice on paper. So let's see if we can get the job done versus Diego De La Hoya, man. Honestly, I've never seen either guy. I've never seen Diego either. So I don't really know. Gonna give that last name the benefit of the doubt. I say unanimous decision win for Diego De La Hoya. Like I said, the card is lackluster, man. But if you can, check it out. I didn't get the time. You get it. Slap it in the comments. All right. Next fight card I want to talk about. I guess they are gonna have another fight card. I don't know. I said only one. Like I said, this one's so lackluster, just like the other DAZN card. Forgot about it. All right, the card is gonna happen Saturday, April 29th. This one's gonna be in England. It's 12-round. The main event is a 12-round contest. A junior featherweight. Junior featherweight is 122 pounds. I'm only gonna talk about the main event, undercard pool. All right. I'm not sure of the promotional company. Not sure of a lot of shit with this fight. You know what's happening. All right. It's Liam Davies versus Jason Cunningham. Liam Davies is 13-0, 5 KOs, 27 years of age. He's an orthodox style fighter. He's from the UK, and I haven't seen Liam Davies, man. Jason Cunningham is 32-7, 7 KOs, 33 years of age. He's a southpaw. He's from 5'7". He's from the UK. Never heard of Jason Cunningham. Like I said, I'm not too versed in the UK boxing scene, but yeah, man. I put y'all on game. The fight is happening. Y'all know more about it. Throw it in the comments. Tell me why I should know about Liam Davies. Tell me why I need to know about Jason Cunningham. What am I missing? What am I sleeping on? All right. Like I said, it's a slow weekend of boxing, man. But we're gearing up to get picked up again the following weekend. I think that's Canelo and John Ryder. Yeah, man. And I think May's going to be a pretty okay. Then in June, you got Josh Taylor and T.O. And then, it's coming, man. We coming. All right. But in other news, Bernard Hopkins and Oscar De La Hoya are hot. They're mad, man. They was basically saying they told Ron Garcia they didn't want him to fight Gervonta Tank Davis right now. They not saying they didn't want it, but they didn't want him to fight him now. But he insisted that he wanted to get in the ring with Tank. And now their cash cow has an L on his record, And yeah, he's not bringing in the cash he was gonna bring in, at least for the time being. They have to build him back up, And yeah, man, they're mad about it. They're not gonna say they're mad about it. They're saying different shit, with the media. But we know what it was. We know what it is. They was with him all leading up to the fight, but they wasn't with him his post-fight press conference. They wasn't with him none after the fight. And man, read between the lines, man. They hot. They mad. They not feeling what he did. He didn't take their advice. They're his fucking promotional team for a company. They're his team for a company, and I feel like they probably feel he didn't, take them in consideration when he jumped in the ring with Gervonta Davis so soon. But it's boxing, man. It's boxing. All right. Also in other news, the Andre Ward documentary is set to drop June 2nd on Showtime. It's going to be called SOG, The Book of Ward. And I'm looking forward to it, man. I'm really, really looking forward to it. I know it's going to be a lot of things I didn't know. I'm from Oakland, so I know where Andre Ward comes from, man. I know the struggle he comes from, and I know how hard it had to be for him to make it out, man. I ain't even gonna lie. Where I come from, man, a lot of us don't even realize like we can get out, the hood, or we even have opportunity to get out the hood until it's too late, man. Our parents don't put us on that. Our parents didn't know that. They didn't get put on that. They didn't have any hope. So they don't put a lot of hope in us, man. And for you to make it out of Oakland, man, and make it out of that, environment and that setting when everybody just want to be the biggest drug dealer and the biggest gangster, my respect to Andre Ward, man. Like I said, because it's easy to become a statistic. It's easy to become a follower, and it's easy, to give in to peer pressure where we come from, man. So I'm looking forward to seeing that documentary. And, yeah. You should watch it, too. All right. Also, you should watch Big George Foreman, man, which is coming out this Friday. So, man, if you ain't doing nothing, check that out, man. It's going to be a big, big movie in the theaters. I think it's only playing in the theaters, man. Freaking, I know I'm going to go see it. I seen him on I Am Athlete, the Brandon Marshall show, Big George Foreman, and he was saying how the director got everything spot on, like they got his life, exactly how it was. So I'm for sure gonna go see it, because if George is vouching for it and saying it is what it's supposed to be, I want to see what it's supposed to be. And on another note, man, George Foreman, he's one of the most, I ain't gonna say the most, but he's up there with one of the sharpest boxers I hadn't seen, after boxing, because usually boxers, from getting hit in the head, they're not the sharpest, man. After boxing, I don't know about the whole CTE thing, if that's something that, it is real. CTE is real, but I don't, I'm not a doctor, so I'm not gonna say that's the reason why, but a lot of boxers be shooken up. They don't be able to get their sentences out like they used to. They're not as sharp as they used to be. But not George Foreman, man. He's very sharp. On that interview, he was articulating the sentences very well. He was giving me some good games, some good advice. He's the man. I ain't gonna lie. I think he's worth over like $300 million right now. He said he made more money out of boxing than in boxing. He said every day he wakes up and puts his feet on the ground, man. He's thinking about, what's next. Something he has to do. He can't waste a day. And this man is 76 years old. Yeah, I just respect, hearing that from somebody who's been a world champion, who's made millions of dollars, man, and still he's saying that's not enough. He said he don't have any belts in his house, no trophies. He said he don't want to see that. That book is closed. He's thinking about the next chapter, his kids' book, his grandkids' book, his great grandkids' book. So he don't want them to see none of his trophies and be intimidated by any of that. Like I said, that book is closed. He wants them to focus on their book, man. And I'm telling you, the man is sharp, man. He's one of the sharpest guys I didn't heard speak, man. And it was, I ain't gonna say, yeah, for lack of better words, it was shocking coming from a boxer, man. But yeah, man. him and Floyd Mayweather, man, they might have two of the most successful boxing stories, to date, man. Usually boxers don't have the best stories. They end up broke or end up, bad health after boxing. But Floyd Mayweather, he has all his facilities. George Foreman has all his faculties in order. Faculties in order. And yeah, man, they're both sharp and they both have a lot of fucking money. And George Foreman says he has a lot of kids, a lot of grandkids. So that's what it's about, man. Your kids and your grandkids and your legacy and putting on for your family, man. Because like I said, you can't play boxing, man. And a lot of these old boxers fucking mental health shows you can't play boxing, man. And I'm happy George Foreman and has beat the odds, man. And it is where he is today. But also he was saying Muhammad Ali had a lot of good Muhammad Ali stories, man. He was saying Muhammad Ali ended up being one of his best friends ever, man. And he really felt bad. He had to call up Muhammad Ali and apologize to him because he said when they was fighting, he was actually trying to kill Ali. And it was like Ali was just trying to go out there and win a boxing match. And I was actually trying to kill this guy. He said, I hit him in the throat one time. I heard him go, ah, or something like that. He was like, man, I was actually trying to kill that man. He said, when I found religion, I had to call him and apologize. He said they ended up being the best of friends, man. And he said, this man right here, man, Muhammad Ali, man, had the most charisma out of any man he ever knew, man. He said he was he was the greatest show on earth, man. And he said he missed him every day to this day, man. And we all miss you, man. The greatest, man. R.I.P. Muhammad Ali, man. Yeah. Can't play boxing, people, like I said, man. Yeah, man. More power to George Foreman, man. More power to Andre Ward, man. And good job to all the competitors who fought over the weekend, man. And like, comment, subscribe, all that shit, people. Rob's Road to Boxing. Yeah.